Welcome, everyone. We're doing another episode of Indie Reads Aloud. And today we have a wonderful children's book author returning for her second episode. This is Christine Devane. She's going to be reading a really fun book, which we'll tell you about in just a moment. How you doing, Christine?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me back on the show.
I'm thrilled to have you. Whenever I get to share children's books on the program, I just love it because reading is so important for young people. And so I want to do as much of that as I can. Tell us, for those of us who didn't hear the first episode yet, and they will after they hear this one because they're going to go look for it. Tell us how you got started on your writing journey.
Sure. So when I was young, I loved books. I loved animals. I wanted to be a vet, but I cannot take the sight of blood. So that career path did not work out for me. And when I was a teenager, I started working with children. I really enjoyed it because it was just different every day and it was very rewarding to see the kids as they learn. So then I became a teacher and I taught for 13 years. And my favorite part of the day was story time because it brought a lot of great discussions and the kids could just enjoy themselves. They didn't have to sit at a desk, they didn't have to write anything. They could just listen to the book. And then we talked about a lot of things after. And I realized how many social skills are taught in books. And that's when I decided to write my own book. So that's when I started working on my first book, Elephant Beach, and that got published last April. And then since then, I decided I wanted to write another book. And this book, Lola and Sophie's ABC Adventure, was inspired by my kids because they love alphabet books and my dogs.
I love alphabet books too. It's always so interesting to see how different authors can take 26 letters and make their books so different from each other. I
Yes.
recently found one at the zoo about dragons, which was spectacular, you know. But I love how we can be so creative with something as simple as the alphabet. It's a great idea. Um, what would you say, based on this book, is your favorite letter of the alphabet?
So my favorite letter in the book is G for gold gown because my Chihuahua, she is no longer with us. She passed away, but she was a very fabulous Chihuahua who loved her outfits. She never went anywhere without her clothes, and she's just a funny personality. And that's why she's in the book. So the funny backstory is the two dogs never actually met in real life. So Lola was a Chihuahua I got when I was younger and she passed away in 2017. And then a year after she passed away, we rescued Sophie, and Sophie's our dog now. She's a little crazy. We love her. They're very different, but they never met. But I imagine how they would be together, and that's how I wrote the book because I love both of them. So I wanted to include both of them. And a lot of people ask, well, isn't that funny adding the book even though they never met? And I said, well, that's the magic of writing a book is you get
The
to make
joy
things
of
up.
yeah, it's the joy of imagination, right? So
Yeah,
fun.
so that's my favorite letter because she was just such a funny little dog that loved her outfits and she was always dressed up and it was funny.
That's fantastic. Well, we will watch for that as you read the book. So when you are ready, Christine Devane, please take the microphone and read aloud from Lola and Sophie's ABC Adventure.
Sure. So this is Lola and Sophie's ABC Adventure, and this is Lola, the little chihuahua I was talking about, and this is Sophie. She's our rescue dog. So she actually came all the way from Texas. So we found a rescue that saves dogs from high kill shelters. I guess it's a really big problem in Texas.
Absolutely,
And
it
they
is.
thrive. Yeah, it's terrible how many dogs are healthy, have to be put to sleep. So there's this wonderful group called Animal Rescue Kingdom, and they take the dogs on a bus and they drive them to different parts of the country. And that's where Sophie came from. So we love Sophie. She's up here in Massachusetts now. She's very happy. She's not very happy with the weather. She's
None of
not
us
a
are.
Since she's from Texas, she is not a winter doggy, but that's a little bit of a backstory for the two pups.
Excellent.
So here we go. Follow Lola and Sophie on a doggy adventure to learn your ABCs. Woof woof, let's go. A is for adopted and adored by a new family. B is for barking and being quiet. C is for car rides and chihuahua. D is for dirty digger and dainty doggy. E is for eek and escape. F is for funny and fabulous. G is for gold gown and green grass. H is for happy and helpful. I is for ice cream and in the sun. J is for jumping and just sitting. K is for kisses. Kids love them. L is for lovable little Lola and lovable loud Sophie. M is for mid-sized and mini-sized. N is for naughty and nice. O is for owner and oops. P is for playful and posing. Q is for quack quack and queen. R is for rescued and S is for snoring loudly and sleeping silently. T is for tub time and teeth brushing. U is for umbrella and underwater. V is for violet van and vet visit. W is for wagging tails and wiggly butts. X-ray. Oh, X is for X-ray and XOXO. Y is for yipping and yapping. Z is for catching Z's. Lola and Sophie had a busy day. And then in the back, there's a picture of the real Lola and Sophie. So there's Lola and there's Sophie with my kids. And there's a story about each of the dogs. And then about the author is written by Sophie.
Fantastic. Lovely. Who did the illustrations for your book?
So the publishing company had somebody do the illustrations.
Awesome. Okay. I think my favorite letter in your book has got to be, I think it's Z. I think I like Z the best.
He's a good one.
It's a good one. So when you were a child growing up, what was your favorite ABC book? Do you remember?
Not ABC book. I know I loved Go Dog Go. That was one of the very first books I
Yes.
loved reading. And I was so excited because I was able to read that book by myself. So that's one of my favorite books. I'm trying to think of an ABC book that I loved.
Go
I know
Dog Go was a lot of fun.
my kids have a lot of trucks and trains, and they have a Christmas ABC book. I'm not sure if I have a favorite one, but I did love Go Dog Go.
Go Dog Go was a lot of fun. I like your hat. Um, what is on the agenda for you next? What are you going to do next? Do you have a new book in the works?
I do have a new book in the works. So I love the idea of Lola and Sophie together. And I have three kids, and I am constantly telling them how to be safe with the dog. Don't feed her chocolate, don't squeeze her. And I was actually attacked by a dog. So I wrote a book on pet safety because I think that it's really important for our kids, adults, and pets for everyone to learn how to be safe together. And in the book, it just reminds kids not to do things like I said, squeezing a dog, poking it in the eyeball, and also not to approach a dog that you don't know. That's a big
Yes,
thing that I try
that's
to teach my
very
kids.
important. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So often
So
children get excited about seeing dogs and they run up on them, and that can startle a dog.
exactly. And the dog that I was bit by wasn't on a leash. So I put something in there too about being on a leash. I love
Excellent.
animals.
Yeah,
And I just want everybody to be safe with pets because a lot of times, too, if a child does something unsafe and then the dog reacts, a lot of times people blame the dog when it's not necessarily the dog's fault.
exactly.
So it's something that I feel very strongly about having kids, and we love our dog. We have to make sure we're safe with the dog. We're not giving her cupcakes and all of
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
So
and a book like that is important because not only does it teach us about being safe with dogs, but it teaches us how to stay safe ourselves. Keep the dog safe
exactly.
and keep yourself safe, and everybody gets along and has a good time.
Exactly. And that's what I try to teach my kids. So they get excited when we go for walks and they see dogs, but they're pretty good because I've taught them. So they say, "Can we pet your dog?" So
Yep,
we ask because not every dog wants to be pet by a bunch of kids. Sometimes dogs are nervous. Sometimes they're just not having a good day. And rather than have an accident and then the dog being blamed, it's better to really give pets boundaries and to
absolutely.
allow
And
for
it's a really important conversation to have with children. So I
yeah.
I think it's a wonderful idea. Do you have
Thank you.
an idea of when that book might be published, when it's coming out, so we can look for it?
So it should hopefully be out by, I want to say April, because the
Okay.
manuscript's all done. They're just working on the illustrations. And then another thing that I put in there that I hear about every summer, which is awful, and hopefully kids can help their parents, is not leaving the pets in the car because there's so many pets in the summer. I mean, people do it with kids
Yes.
too. It's terrible. I don't
Well,
know
and
why people do that.
it's just as dangerous in the wintertime, right?
Yes.
So yeah, no, I think it's a really good idea. I think it's a wonderful book for
Thank
you to
you.
write, and it's going to help a lot of people, I think, understand animals better. And hopefully we can get some animals adopted too.
Yes, that's my goal too. I love the adoption place that we work with, Sophie, and I'm trying to go to more events. I took Sophie actually to go see them, and I had some books there, and they were very happy that their name's in the book. And I'm
Yeah,
trying to bring more attention to all the dogs that need
fantastic.
homes out there.
Great. Thank you so much for all you do for children and for animals. And thank you for coming on the program and reading for us again.
Thank you so much for having me on the show again.
You're quite welcome. I look forward to having you when the next book comes out.
Thank you.